Hello and welcome to the commencement ceremony of Western Kentucky University. I'm your host, Amy Bingham.
And I'm your host, David Lee. We'll be watching graduates from the Gordon Ford College of Business and the College of Health and Human Services celebrate graduation with family and friends this morning.
As well as graduates from Potter College of Arts and Letters, the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences, and Ogden College of Science and Engineering. This is a much different ceremony than this time last year. WKU and universities around the country had to actually cancel or just do virtual ceremonies last spring.
So this ceremony is for the students who would have graduated in the spring and summer of 2020. And it's a time to celebrate that really very special moment in their lives. WKU has taken all the appropriate safety precautions this year to have this live ceremony. We're following our Healthy on the Hill guidelines as well as CDC guidelines. And we're going to have a great celebration here this morning on WKU's campus.
That's right. You're looking live at people gathering in Houchins L.T. Smith Stadium, getting ready to watch the graduates make their way into the field. And we're going to start with our Topper Walk, which is a relatively new tradition that President Timothy Caboni brought to our campus back, I think, starting in 2018.
That's correct. President Caboni had a really clever, I think, an original idea about how to begin the ceremony. The Topper Walk brings faculty and students together outside the venue where commencement is actually going to take place. It's a chance to interact with your fellow graduates. It's a chance to interact with faculty members, and it's really a parade into the commencement venue. Not to get too much into the weeds of commencement planning, but one of the things that you're always trying to think about is you want to have a very celebratory occasion. You want to have a good opportunity for individual recognition, and you want to do it in a manageable kind of time frame. Some institutions begin commencement with folks processing into the arena. But what the Topper Walk does is to have a little more informal time before the commencement ceremony actually begins. And that's how people then process into the venue, in this case, onto Fikes Field at Houchins L.T. Smith Stadium. So it not only contributes to the kind of community building of the event, but it also helps to manage some of the time issues with commencement as well.
You see a sign of the times, the masks that are being worn. Obviously, they can't be 6 feet apart as they're marching in, but the chairs on the field have been situated in a more socially distant manner. All this has been carefully planned out for the past year, with the commencement committee taking careful measures to make sure that we could pull off this event. And we had quite a different scene last Saturday. We had 2 different ceremonies, one at 10 a.m., one at 6 p.m. to accommodate all of the 5 colleges. Obviously, this weekend, 2020, making up some ground with those graduates who had to just abruptly leave. There was a virtual conferral of degrees last year on May 15th. Some of these graduates were able to have, some more intimate little parties, I guess, within their colleges or within their families. But we're so excited that some 600 students have made their way back to Bowling Green for this socially distant ceremony. We're just getting very excited.
Well, and certainly our graduates and their families are very excited as well. Not only was commencement canceled last spring, but we've tried to come up with some other opportunities with this. There was a plan for a commencement in September, but COVID precluded that. But we've got something that's workable here this morning, and it looks like the usual excitement, the usual enthusiasm that always marks a commencement ceremony is very much present here. And I suppose that shouldn't be any surprise, because it has been a bit of pent-up enthusiasm for a year, and it's probably going to be released with a vengeance here this morning. But the Topper Walk is very much underway, and it's the hallmark of the beginning of commencement ceremony here at Western Kentucky University.
Just to break it down for everyone, WKU conferred degrees and certificates last year in 2020 to 3,094 graduates from both the spring and summer. That was 106 associate, 2,161 bachelor's degrees, 582 master's, 59 doctoral, and 10 specialist degrees, along with 216 undergraduate certificates. So one of the things they decided to do when figuring out how commencement would look this year, in the year of 2021, with the pandemic still an issue, obviously. It's certainly better than it was this time last year, but in looking, they said, how can we make these individuals feel special? Because this year we weren't able to have the recognition ceremonies for each individual college on the day after the topper walk and the actual commencement ceremony. And they said, wow, the video board is huge. That's one way, the jumbo board. So WKU has partnered with a third-party company to create a personalized video board experience for the ceremony. So each graduate was asked to submit a photo or even a short 4-second video clip that is going to be shown during this morning's ceremony.
Well, and Amy, you touch on two pieces that are a very important part of commencement ceremonies here at WKU. There's the commencement ceremony itself, which is the official conferral of degrees and all the formal and even quasi-legal things around the bestowing of degrees by a state university. But there's also the emphasis on the individual recognition for the graduates themselves. And in recent years, we've had a commencement ceremony on the football field, and then the individual colleges have done the individual recognition for the graduates from that particular college. COVID has forced us to rethink that a little bit, so as a consequence, what we're seeing here this morning is a consolidation of those two experiences. We are at the same time conducting a formal commencement ceremony, but we've also made a space for the recognition of each individual graduate. And just as technology has helped us to deliver instruction during the past year, we've all developed some Zoom skills. And probably this time last year, not a whole lot of us even knew what Zoom was. But technology has helped us in terms of dealing with COVID issues and let us continue the education program. But it's also helping us here this morning as we recognize the individual graduates and give them the opportunity to put their personalized touch on this ceremony through their pictures or their videos. But it's an important part of the commencement experience here at WKU.
We want to say a special shout out to WKU PBS for who years have provided this coverage that now is able to be streamed via YouTube, via Facebook. It's a wonderful way to reach family and friends around the world who are not able to be here. So they are old pros at this, but to that point, you know a lot about the history of commencements that have been held over the years. Fikes Field and Diddle Arena is far from the only places. Tell us a little bit about some of the other locations commencement has been held.
We have had commencement here at WKU in lots of different places. We have had it, for example, in the old football field, which is up by the Fine Arts Center where the colonnade is. We have had commencement in Van Meter Hall back in the days when we were a much smaller institution. We've had it obviously in Diddle Arena. We have had it on Fikes Field. We have also had it at locations outside of Bowling Green. We've had commencement in Elizabethtown. We've had commencement in Owensboro. At the Glasgow campus, we haven't exactly had commencement, but we've had something called a graduand, which celebrates folks who are about to graduate. So commencement has been a movable feast for us for a good while. Occasionally, and we've had fairly good luck with rain. There was one celebrated occasion where commencement was gathered. I think it was a summer commencement, was gathered at the old football field, the colonnade, and a rainstorm came up and everybody took off for Van Meter Hall and they finished commencement there. Hopefully, we're not going to have that situation here this morning. The weather's a little gray, but I think there's no forecast for rain. So it's a bit of a cooler day, but for folks who are wearing those robes with the hoods over them, a cooler day is a good thing. So commencement certainly has a history with us, and it's something that changes a bit with the times. Students want different things in a commencement experience. Families want different things in a commencement experience. And this year, of course, we're shaped a lot by what we need to do to accommodate concerns around COVID. So commencement will probably continue to evolve for us, but I think it's always going to be a special celebratory kind of thing, and there's always going to be that moment for individual recognition of each of our graduates.
You know, last week we talked about how you have been on this broadcast before, but it's been some 30 years ago
Yes.
or more. But since then, you have held the role of Dean of Potter College. You've been the Provost. So you've had so many different ways that you've participated in commencement. How different is it to be back just kind of observing, having fun? Is it a little more stressful when you're the Provost? I mean, goodness.
Yes, it's a little bit more stressful than when you're the Provost. But the wonderful thing about commencement here at WKU is that this is not an event that just falls from the sky. There are lots of people. In fact, there's a committee of about 30 or so who plan this thing meticulously. And when you're the president, when you're the provost, when you're the deans, you're plugged into a very well considered, well planned script. And that part of it is not terribly stressful. What is stressful is what you can't anticipate, like, is it going to rain? And this morning, I'm a little concerned about the rain, but I won't have to make any important decisions if the weather doesn't go very well. So, yes, it's nice to have the opportunity to watch this. I always enjoyed being a participant, whether I was there as a faculty member or a dean or as a provost, occasionally as a family member. But there is a celebratory dimension to commencement that is always there under any circumstances. And even though I have been to literally dozens of commencements on this campus, it still is a special experience for me, and I relish the opportunity to be a part of it in any way possible.
You know, this week I was able to talk with two different 2020 graduates who were making an effort to be here today. One was local, one was going to be driving down from Louisville, and they both could not have been more excited, and they said there was no way they were missing this opportunity. In fact, one said, I am an only child, I am an only grandchild, and I'm a first-generation college student. So we knew, my family knew, that no matter when they scheduled the 2020 graduates, there was no way they were not going to make it a huge celebration. So it's really so fun to see the 600 or so that were able to get back here. You know, it's been a year, so a lot of these 2020 graduates have moved away. They've started their new careers, so we're just thrilled for the opportunity to provide this, I guess, a bit of closure. That's how one of the students put it to me. I had to leave. I didn't say goodbye to anybody. This at least will put more of a point on my time at WKU.
Well, in your comment about the student who not only is the only child, the only grandchild, but a first-generation graduate, that's a very special thing in the lives of families. It's a very special thing here in Kentucky, and for a good many years now, we've made a point as part of the commencement ceremony of asking first-generation graduates to stand and be recognized. But it really is a significant achievement for all of these students, but for the first-generation students in particular, and families really celebrate that, really cherish that, and I'm not in the least bit surprised that first-generation graduates would make a special effort to be a part of this ceremony this morning.
This is going to be a last ceremony for a lot of the people that are going to be on the stage. And there's a recognizable graduate. My husband got his MBA last summer, so he also was like, I'm absolutely going to be part of this celebration. But yeah, we have about 125 people on campus, faculty and staff, and that have taken the early retirement that was offered. One of which is my direct supervisor, who has been for 13 years that I've been here, Bob Skipper, affectionately known as Skipper Bob, Skipper, Bob. That's how his email came across. So he gained a lot of notoriety over the years for being the messenger when it comes to class is being canceled for weather. So, the message, don't kill the messenger. Well, he was either celebrated or he was frowned upon, depending on what the actual message was that day. So we're going to miss Skipper Bob so much. You'll see him bringing the guests to the podium here in a little bit. But he's not the only one. There's a lot of people having their last today, would you say?
Well, and part of what I need to say about Bob as well is that particularly with when President Caboni became president, he designated me as the provost to make the decision about whether campus would be open or closed. So it was my decision. But Bob was the one who went out and presented it to the world. So Bob tended to get a lot of the flack that definitely should have come to me. But certainly Skipper Bob and snow days and Skipper Bob's good wishes for final exam week and that sort of thing. It's been a big part of this campus for a long time, and Bob Skipper is going to really be missed as a voice and a face of this campus for a long time.
That's sort of the behind-the-scenes scoop that people don't know, but it absolutely is true that the provost makes the call. But sometimes it's one that students really are happy about, and sometimes it's not.
Not so much, yes.
No. But Cheryl Stevens, Larry Snyder,
Greg Arbuckle.
Yes. They're all going to be up there in those roles for the last time today.
Yes, Cheryl is the current university provost. She'll be succeeded by Bud Fisher on July 1st. She's retiring. Larry Snyder is also retiring on June 30th, and he'll be succeeded by Terrence Brown on July 1st as the new dean of Potter College of Arts and Letters. And Greg Arbuckle is leaving the deanship and returning to faculty responsibilities in Ogden College of Science and Engineering. And we are watchful waiting for who's going to be the next dean of Ogden College, and I suspect that will be announced here in the very near future. But the VSIP program, the early retirement incentive program, has resulted in the early retirement for 125 people. And many of them play very significant roles on this campus. Our bursar, our human relations director, Tony Glisson. Lots of folks are leaving, and some people kind of wring their hands perhaps a bit about that. But this is not an unusual thing in the life of a university. We've had times like this in the past where we've had kind of significant turnover. And I think part of that is that Western tends to be the kind of place for folks to make a long-term commitment. So they come and stay. And it's not unusual to kind of have generations move on together. And that's a big part of what's happened here. And we're entering an exciting new phase with the university with some new leadership in both faculty and staff positions. And it's an important transition. It's a big transition, but it's part of life with universities that go on for 120 years.
That's right. I mean, that's so true. And there will be a lot of changes ahead over the next several months. There's no question about that. But there's also going to be a lot of physical changes to campus, and there already has been. People tell me all the time, wow, it's unrecognizable, but in the best way possible, with all the facilities that have been built over the past 10 to 15 to 20 years. But we were talking earlier about all the things, all the pomp and circumstance that used to happen at the top of the hill. Well, Garrett Conference Center, which originally came was dubbed as the Student Union back in the day, that's going away very, very soon to make way for the Commons. And what an exciting change, and what an amazing opportunity for students when it's all said and done.
There is some dramatic change underway at the top of the hill right now. Helm, what many folks know as Helm Library, was built originally in 1931 as a health and physical education building. And that's where Ed Diddle and the men's basketball team played for over 30 years. And many of Diddle's 759 wins took place in that building. The athletics program moved down the hill in the mid-1960s, and the library moved in. It had been in what's now Gordon Wilson, but it moved into into health and physical education, and it was rechristened as Helm Library for Margie Helm, who was our longtime librarian here. But libraries have changed in the age of technology. They're not storage houses for books anymore. And students learn in different ways, and there's a lot more collaborative learning than there used to be. So it was time to revisit the library, and we've done that in a pretty dramatic way with the WKU Commons. It's going to be, it's going to have a number of food venues in it. It's going to be designed in different ways to let students work in groups. It's going to be much more technology based. So it's going to be a real destination point for the campus. So this building that is 90 years old this year and has already served us in so many different ways is going to serve us in yet another way, beginning in the fall of 2021. And yes, the Garrett Conference Center, what's now the Garrett Conference Center, will be coming down. It's part of a revisiting of the top of the hill and making the top of the hill more green space, more pedestrian friendly, and it's part of making that whole part of the campus much more oriented to the needs and the interests of students here in the 21st century.
Well, and the demolition that's going to happen is not limited to the top of the hill. We've already, over the past few years, we've taken down Barnes Campbell Hall and Bemis Lawrence Hall and made way for two brand new facilities, which is going to be known as the First Year Village. So freshmen coming to the campus starting this fall will be living in both Regents Hall and Normal Hall and taking part in living learning communities, which is a concept that's been around at WKU for over a decade, just in smaller pockets. But this takes the living and learning common, it's something that goes on in other universities, and brings it full, to two entirely new facilities for people to live and learn in.
Well, and the First Year Village, I think, is the outcome of some planning and some rethinking the university has been doing for a long time now. What can we do to help students be more successful? What can we do to attract students, to retain students, to graduate students, and give them a good, positive, comfortable experience while they're here? And the First Year Village is an effort to literally put our construction plans in the service of those kinds of efforts. Whereas you might remember a college residence hall experience as you and your roommate in a concrete block room. That's not where we're going to go anymore. The future is much more collaborative. There's much more of an opportunity for students to be part of a group, as part of these living learning communities. Students will take classes together, they'll study together, they'll live together. There are dining opportunities there. There are nice facilities like practice rooms. As somebody who used to be the head of a music department, I think it's great that students have practice options in their residence hall and don't have to go to the Fine Arts Center to practice their trumpet. So the whole notion of the First Year Village is part of a much broader effort by the institution to make the first year experience a really positive, constructive kind of time, and one that's going to make it a much easier transition for students from high school into the college experience, and give them more of a community base for their time at WKU, really from their first day on campus. So I have not had the opportunity to get inside First Year Village yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it, and I think students arriving in the fall to take up residence in the First Year Village are going to find that a really positive experience.
They conducted a media tour this week and unveiled that there is going to be a sandwich shop and a coffee shop within one of those buildings. So that's sure to make the students happy when they get here. If you all are just joining us, we're looking live at the WKU Commencement ceremony being held for the class of 2020. We have processed in probably close to 600 students in the Topper Walk, and now they are just having fun on the field at Houchins L.T. Smith Stadium. They're within their colleges, and some of these people have not seen each other in over a year. So they were able to line up within whatever college, one of the 5 colleges. They're all being represented in this one ceremony. Each student was allowed 10 tickets. So, you know, they still wanted to make sure we were within healthy on the hill, socially distanced guidelines. The pandemic has prompted us to, as you've said and I've alluded to, just rethink this entire day and how it's going to look. And we'll have to see what we keep of this in the future. I know in the past, the graduates have sat in the stadium, up in the bleachers. So maybe we continue to let them be on the field so that they can actually be seen by everybody who's here to witness this momentous occasion. It's just hard to know in the pandemic what we'll keep and what we won't from what we've learned.
I think you're asking a question that almost the entire world is asking. Given the changes from that have been forced on us by COVID, are some of them positive changes? Are some of them things that really are better ways to do business and things that we want to hold on to? So it's very possible that the way in which we do commencement next year will be different again, and influenced by things that we've learned from our experience here on this occasion. But I'm also sure that some things won't change, and that's always going to be the students' interest in putting a stamp, their own personal stamp, on this ceremony. There are a couple of ways in which, as you watch the graduates, that you see them do that. One is certainly with their mortar boards. The mortar boards can take a lot of different forms. Sometimes they have a message. I've seen a couple of them that say, "I need a job, hire me." There are some that have Bible verses or a variety of other things. Some from the art department, or sometimes from some of the engineering folks in Ogden College, have kind of little villages built on them. They're very creative in how they put these things together. So the mortar board might be just a blank slate, and that is probably the case for most students. But a great many of them use the mortar board as a way to make some personal kind of statement. The other way in which you'll see graduates personalize the day for them a bit is with their stoles. And the stoles reflect a lot of different things. It can be their campus memberships. It can be their, for example, their Greek organization. It might also indicate where they have done study abroad. The stoles might indicate that somebody is an honor graduate. The stoles might indicate that somebody did some of their work at the Glasgow campus. But the stoles become an important way for graduates to express some part of their own personal dimension, their own personal excitement about their time here at commencement today. So ways in which this particular ceremony is personalized might be the mortar boards, might be the stoles, might be the images that will be appearing on the video board. But there's also just a real spontaneous dimension to commencement, particularly on a day like this when it's a little bit smaller, it's cool and it's pleasant, and there's a whole lot of informal interaction taking place between the graduates and the people in the stands.
Yeah, we've seen some children sitting out there with parents. It seems and that's one thing. There's so much blood, sweat, and tears that goes into earning these degrees, so everybody wants to celebrate. I think last week we saw a mortar board that said, "Next stop, the beach."
Yes, yes, we did, as a matter of fact.
Now you taught classes, and you had to switch to learning how to do virtual Zoom classes, correct?
I did, yes.
How was that experience? Was that quite the learning curve?
That was quite the learning curve, although Zoom is a little more intuitive than I might have thought it would be. But quite frankly, I have to say that I would get on with a student and say, I would like to do this, and she would say, do it this way, or he would say, you need to throw that switch, or hey, you're muted. So there was a lot of reciprocal teaching going on. I was trying to bring some content, and oftentimes they brought content too, but they brought tech skills that got me out of one or two jams, and as a consequence, they must be fairly good teachers, because I have gotten to the point where I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I can at least manage my way through a class and manage my way through a Zoom session. And that is one of the wonderful things about being in a university setting. There are things always to learn back from students, and I've tried to be a good learner for them over the years, but certainly probably never more so than in this past year, when I was fairly dependent on their skills, their ability to explain things, and their patience in terms of how we got some things going in terms of the learning environment.
Well, there's no question every single person has had to pivot in some way, shape, or form. And, you know, these are graduates that they didn't get to have their end of the year banquet for any of the extracurricular things that they took part in, whether it be, I don't know, Spirit Masters, for example. We've talked about the Spirit Masters and what a big role they've played and how they've now been around for 40 years, and just sorority, fraternity, all the academic fraternities and sororities that are involved. So it's just kind of cramming it all into one day, and that's fine. That's what we had to do. So just the resiliency, though, that has had to happen with these students is
very much so.
It's
very
amazing.
Much so. Well, and you also remind me of another way in which students kind of express themselves in subtle and understated ways. As you watch the ceremony today, you may occasionally see a graduate who is wearing a very large pair of mittens. And it might be that at some point in their undergraduate career, they might have had something to do with Big Red. And it's possible that if a student is reaching out with big mittens to receive their diploma today, that maybe that student has been Big Red at some point in their undergraduate experience. But that too is part of how students, in nonverbal ways, tell their colleagues, tell the folks in the audience, tell the folks on television a little bit about themselves and what they've done during their time here at WKU.
I don't see the furry mitten right here, but in looking at some of last week's photos, I did see someone who I know played Big Red quite a few times, so that's always so much fun. So again, you know, last week we had 2 different ceremonies to accommodate I think it was 2 colleges in the morning last week and 3 colleges in the evening, which it went well into almost 3 hours to get the individual recognition. It was kind of neat last week that the lights came up. It was like, nope, it's not a football game. It's the rest of commencement. So this morning will be a little bit of a shorter ceremony because we have fewer students, obviously, that were able to get back to Bowling Green, back to the campus. But as we said earlier, at least it's not raining. We don't have the bright sunny skies that we had last week, but we're hanging in there with a dry house for so far so good anyway.
Well, and remembering last week and a very long day, a very celebratory day, but a very long day, and looking here again this morning, one of the things that I'm sure you notice right off is how perfectly placed the seats are. And that's always a reminder to me that very important participants in the success of the commencement ceremonies are the facilities management folks here at WKU. They're responsible for so many of the logistics around the campus. And it's things like mowing the grass and making sure that everything is clean, and that this really gorgeous campus puts its very best foot forward when it celebrates the achievement of these graduates and welcomes family and friends to campus. They put out all the chairs on the football field. They are the ones who stay late and clean up after everybody's gone. Even if the ceremony is not over until fairly late in the evening, they're still out there cleaning things. So the facilities management folks are not terribly visible. They don't do their work on the stage by any means, but their role in the success of commencement and letting us make the right statement about commencement is really crucial to how well everything goes. And I always want to express my appreciation to them for their really excellent work.
Absolutely. Last week, I think within a matter of what seemed like minutes, they had redone the stage and the field, and all the chairs were repositioned. So they were right, Johnny on the spot, just making sure the campus was ready for round 2. So I think the guests will be making their way to the podium very soon, but in the meanwhile, we'll let you know that WKU was recognized as a military-friendly school for the 12th consecutive year, which is something that WKU has really been proud of, this being recognized by Victory Media. It's the field's most comprehensive database for career training. WKU is very much known for reaching out to veterans and supporting veterans, and have been over the years, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. We are positioned kind of halfway between 2 major military installations, Fort Knox and Fort Campbell, and we have prided ourselves on a relationship with the United States military for decades, for a very long time. And this is the kind of honor that very much we want to stay in line for. We have offices that support veterans in their transition to civilian life and student life here at WKU. We work a lot with students who are on active duty, and many of whom are deployed. We also work with family members, and of course the Hilltopper Battalion here, the ROTC unit, is a highly successful, highly credentialed part of our campus. But the Hilltopper Battalion, probably its antecedents actually go back to World War I, when we had a student training corps on this campus. We had aviation cadets here in World War II, but providing learning opportunities for military personnel is a very important thing for us. Last week, as part of the 2021 commencement ceremonies, we commissioned 23 new second lieutenants into the United States Army. I'm not sure how many commissioned second lieutenants we might have here today, because they are probably on assignment someplace around the country or even around the world. But certainly we have taken pride in trying to support active duty military veterans and their families, and the next generation of military leadership on this campus in any way we possibly can.
And the Textbook for Troops program, it seems like yesterday, but it started 10 years ago. Wow. In 2011, and it has literally helped hundreds of military-connected students gain access to textbooks every semester. They have actually granted more than 3,500 students the necessary materials that they need.
And that's a particularly important thing, because once upon a time, book prices were not all that serious part of the undergraduate experience, but now textbooks, particularly in certain fields, can be a real expense. And Textbooks for Troops is a really valuable kind of support for troops on campus.
Another program that WKU has that has really literally put us on the map for years now is our forensics team,
yes,
which they just won another national title.
In fact, we could probably just sort of tape that and play that every year, because they
never miss.
They never miss. And they have been a significant part of student organizations on this campus at least since the 20s. And in some ways, they go back to the days of Ogden College, which goes back into the late 19th century. So the forensics program is year in and year out a major champion all across the country. They win lots of different kinds of honors. Those students are really impressive young men and women. They contributed an awful lot on campus as well. So I'm a pretty big fan of the forensics program, and it's easy to give them a lot of applause.
They gave a presentation to the Board of Regents yesterday, which was pretty exciting, and talked about just all the obstacles they overcame with the pandemic this year, and the way they competed virtually. And the students facing losses over, as everybody has. So it was a very poignant
Yes.
situation. We're also very proud of our Cherry Presidential Scholarship Program, which we have just selected 15 more students as the recipient of this prestigious academic award, named for Henry Hardin Cherry.
Yes, the Cherry Scholars are a really important part of our campus. They are chosen not only for their academic talent, but for the other kinds of intangibles that they bring to campus. They're expected to be very active participants in campus life. They're expected to be leaders across the campus. So they are a really dynamic part of the student body. They get some special opportunities to be in different kinds of learning environments, to interact with different folks. So the whole Cherry Presidential experience is wonderful for those students, but it's also a real contribution to the campus as well.
Absolutely. We've talked about a lot of traditions today, and one of our traditions is the carrying in of the mace, which is always done by the faculty member who served here the longest, correct?
Yes, the mace leads the academic procession into the arena. The mace bearer is someone who is the senior faculty member present, and I think today it's Julia Roberts, who has been part of WKU for more than 40 years. It has its origins in medieval times, when the mace was literally a kind of weapon, and to the extent that there were rowdy folks at commencement, the mace bearer was supposed to clobber them with the mace. We've not had to do that in a good while, but the mace has been a part of our ceremony here now for over 20 years. It was designed by John Warren Oakes, who was a faculty member in the art department, and it was actually built by two wonderful woodworkers, Terry Leeper and Frank Pittman. But the mace is an important part of our ceremony, and it's the signal that things are ready to start, and the mace bearer brings the leadership of the university into commencement, and also leads them out at the end of the service.
We see that the students are starting to take their seats. They processed in a little quickly today because there were fewer students that were able to be back, but they're getting situated and ready for the ceremony beginning here at 10 o'clock. Dr. Timothy Caboni will be coming in with the rest of the deans and all the other podium guests that you'll be hearing a few speeches today, including from the president of the Alumni Association, which will encourage these graduates to stay connected with WKU throughout their lives and make the most of those connections. And there's nothing like a great WKU success story, and there are plenty of them that the Alumni Association keeps us informed upon.
And the Alumni Association is part of their role into this is to ask the graduates to flip their tassel that indicates that they are now officially graduates.
And we're about to see that very soon. Thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned for commencement.
Ladies and gentlemen, as today's ceremony gets underway, please welcome our platform party to the stage, beginning with the governing body of WKU, the Board of Regents. Mr. Frederick A. Higdon, Chair. Mr. David Brinkley, Secretary and Staff Regent. Dr. Shane Spiller, Faculty Regent. Mr. Garrett Edmonds, Student Regent. Dr. Philip W. Bale. Ms. Linda Ball. Ms. Julie Harris Hinson. And Ms. Jan West. Among our other platform guests, our Alumni Association President, Mr. Joe Morrell. Former Student Government Association President, Will Harris. Dean of the Potter College of Arts and Letters, Dr. Larry Snyder. Dean of the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences, Dr. Corin Murphy. Dean of the Ogden College of Science and Engineering, Dr. Greg Arbuckle. Dean of the Gordon Ford College of Business, Dr. Christopher Shook. Dean of the College of Health and Human Services, Dr. Tanya Basta. Dr. Ranjit Kudali, Associate Provost for Research and Graduate Education. Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Cheryl Stevens, and WKU's 10th President, Dr. Timothy Caboni. Bearing the mace of Western Kentucky University is our Chief Marshal, Professor Julia Roberts. The honor of carrying the mace is given to the faculty member in attendance who has served the longest tenure. Professor Roberts has taught at WKU for 40 years, and we are grateful for her service. Thank you, Professor Roberts. And now please join me in a round of applause for our platform party, as well as all of our WKU faculty and staff in attendance today, who have provided outstanding instruction and guidance to our Hilltoppers over the course of their studies. Thank you.
Good morning. It's been a long time coming, and we're glad you are here. I'm Tim Caboni, President of Western Kentucky University, and I'm honored to welcome you to WKU's commencement ceremony in celebration of our spring and summer 2020 graduates. Before we begin, now that everyone is seated and physically distanced, either individually or by family unit, and because we are outside, if you're comfortable doing so, you may now remove your mask. We do ask you wear your mask if you move about the stadium during the ceremony because physical distancing may not be maintained. To begin this morning's celebration, please stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Spring 2020 graduate and vocal performance major, Sarah Chapman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er what ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang clear, the bombs burst
Thank you, and you may be seated. Commencement is a celebration of success and also a time to express appreciation to those who provided support and encouragement to you along the way. Graduates in attendance today are your parents, grandparents, and siblings, your spouses and children, your family, and your friends. These are the individuals who've supported you the most, and they take great pride in celebrating your success today. Will you please stand and show them your appreciation? Thank you, and you may be seated. Our first president, Henry Hardin Cherry, envisioned that WKU would be a university of social mobility and of access and opportunity. Taking that first step is often the most challenging. Graduates, if you are the first in your immediate family to complete a college degree, would you please stand? Your achievement isn't just about yourself, it's about your entire family. You've changed the course of their future as well as your own by earning a college degree. Congratulations. Please be seated. Now, members of today's graduating class who either currently serve or have served in our nation's military are wearing red, white, and blue honor cords. Would all graduates and those of you joining us in the audience today who are currently serving or are military veterans please stand so we can recognize and thank you for your service to our nation. Graduates, it's my privilege to address you one final time as an assembled class. You've reached a key milestone, one that is likely to be among the most significant in your lives. We celebrate today your journey of learning and discovery. You amassed significant knowledge and honed your skills with us, and that's important. But I'm hopeful you also have realized what will serve you for a lifetime are the habits of mind you developed, the intellectual passions you identified, and the deeper understanding of what it means to be successful in the life you've cultivated. Now, class of 2020, you hold a very special place in the heart of our institution. When you began your journey toward that degree at WKU, it was unimaginable at the time that your commencement celebration would be postponed by a global pandemic. But we all know the story that unfolded last year, when the almost unfathomable became reality, and overnight we altered just about every aspect of our lives. So before I share a few words, I want to take a moment to say this. Congratulations, class of 2020, and welcome home. There is no place I would rather be than here with you today, and I stand before you so pleased that you're back on campus. I believe this is likely the first, and let's hope the only, commencement ceremony for those who've already commenced. I'm grateful we can take this day to celebrate your achievements. The past year has tested us all in many ways. For some, it was the way they worked. For others, it was the way they learned. And of course, for all of us, it was the new behaviors we adopted to care for and protect ourselves and those around us. But without a doubt, some of those whose lives we most disrupted were yours. You left for spring break, expecting to return to enjoy those culminating weeks of your last year on campus. It was a time of uncertainty and fear. And while many of us were stockpiling toilet paper and searching for Clorox wipes, many of you were focused on a more important search, that first job and trying to launch your careers. What you overcame was not easy. And I'm so proud of you for facing unthinkable challenges head on, for adapting to a remarkably different world around you, and for persisting in order to succeed. If we've learned anything in the past 14 months, it's this. Life is fleeting and fragile. Stability and certainty are an illusion. But if that's the case, then what? I hope we've all learned to appreciate every moment and to cherish everything, and especially the small things that may have gone unnoticed before. And don't take anything, or more importantly, don't take anyone for granted. As we gradually emerge on the other side of this pandemic, I hope the past year leaves you strengthened, better prepared to face adversities, and that you'll lean on this experience to elevate you and help you rise above, today, tomorrow, and throughout your lives. And as you continue your journey, your post-college adventure, the world needs people like you, with those habits of mind I mentioned earlier. Shaped by technology, our world and how we experience it is evolving at a dizzying pace. One outcome of this is a dramatic polarization of our communities. This is not an accident. Social media platforms know that much of what captures user attention is content that shocks, angers, inflames, and outrages. What they don't want us to realize is that we are the commodity. We are the products being sold to advertisers and to others who want to mobilize our influence. And one of the most effective ways of doing this is by sowing mistrust and dissent, creating ever-deepening rabbit holes to go down, threads to unravel, the end result of which is this: each of us squandering a portion of our days, squandering some portion of our lives in a way that monetizes our attention. More troubling is this spills over into our real-world interactions. Our society is divided into simplified, oversimplified, clear-cut factions. You pick any issue that's important to you, and you can envision the two camps, us and them, or perhaps us versus them. Your generation's greatest challenge is this: to focus on things that are important, but not necessarily immediate. To slip the bonds placed upon you by technology and to actually engage face-to-face, one-on-one with those with whom you disagree. And when you do, you quickly will realize there is no us and them. It really is just all of us. We're all in this together. And that's what we've equipped you to do here at WKU. Certainly, we prepared you for a career, a profession, a job, and helped equip you to make a good living for yourself. But we've done more than that. During your time on the Hill, you cultivated the ability to think through challenging scenarios, come to difficult decisions, to be perceptive enough to understand subtle nuances, arguments, and problems. You've worked to master the sometimes humbling art of compromise and always bring to situations critical thinking and exploration with a measure of self-critique, never forgetting that we each bring our own lens to the world. You understand that it is more important to listen sometimes than it is to talk, and that we could each afford others a bit more grace. So, as you continue your professional journey and build the lives ahead of you, I encourage you: debate, critique, question, search for that ever-elusive truth with a capital T. And at the same time, never forget, there is right and there is wrong. There is good and there is evil. And you always have a choice to make. So choose well, do well, and be well. At this time, please welcome former Student Government Association President Will Harris for remarks on behalf of the student body.
Hilltoppers, class of 2020, it is my pleasure to address you one last time. Thank you to those that are here today or watching online, or those that could not make it. Commencement is a day of celebration, a day to reflect on your accomplishments and memories of your time here on the Hill. Reflecting on those memories now and the most traditional commencement ceremonies possible. When each of you stepped foot on this campus, you made WKU your home. You turned an institution with buildings, hollow buildings, into an institution filled with life. You filled this campus with joy. You filled this campus with laughter, with memories of game days, when you filled up the berm and sang the fight song loud and proud. With memories of class plays and productions, of dance, of forensics, of athletics, of Greek life, and so much more. You took a campus and turned it into your home. Fellow Hilltoppers, that will never change. WKU will forever be your home. Be proud of this tremendous accomplishment. You overcame an obstacle that no one could anticipate, and you came out stronger. Whether it was perfecting your TikTok dances, figuring out how to work Zoom, learning how to be an online student, or getting creative with your time, each of you are coming back today a stronger person. When sitting down to write this speech, a quote really stuck out to me about my time on the Hill that I hope resonates with you by Ian Thomas, and it goes a little something like this. I hope that in the future they invite a small golden light that follows you everywhere, and when something is about to end, it shines brightly so you know it's about to end. And if you're never going to see someone again, it'll shine brightly, and both of you can be polite and say, "It was nice to have you in my life while I did. Good luck with everything that happens now." And maybe if you're never going to eat at that same restaurant again, it'll shine, and you can order everything on the menu you've never tried. Maybe if it's someone's about to buy your car, the light will shine, and you can take it out for one last time. Maybe if you're with a group of friends who will never be together again, all your lights will shine at the same time. And you'll know. And then you can hold each other and whisper, this was so good, oh my gosh, this was so good. Your time here on the Hill may be over, or a new journey may just be beginning. But that light, it's shining bright right now. Just like the light on Cherry Hall to always guide you back home. As I close, I'll leave you with one parting piece of advice. Have fun, and don't be a stranger. Each of you are Hilltoppers for life. Come back to your second home and reminisce on the time you spent here. Enjoy the little things in life and the moments you have now learned never to take for granted. Hilltopper, class of 2020, thank you, congratulations, and go Tops. I now ask Dr. Cheryl Stevens, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, to come forward for honor and award recognition. Provost Stevens.
Good morning. Named in honor of a former WKU president, the John D. Minton Award recognizes a graduate student for outstanding contributions to his or her academic discipline, both within the university and beyond. This year's John D. Minton Award goes to Ava Ferguson, who graduated with a Master of Science in Psychology with a concentration in Psychological Science. As an undergraduate student, and after learning about Hope Harbor, a local nonprofit organization, Ava became interested in improving the lives of sexual assault survivors. Her research focused on sexual assault, and she later continued her study to include college students with a history of suicidal thoughts and behaviors. Ava received an American Psychological Foundation Graduate Research Scholarship in 2019, and in addition to the Minton Award, she received the Catherine Coogan Ward Feminist Action Award from the WKU Gender and Women's Studies program, and was selected as the outstanding graduate student in the Department of Psychological Sciences. Ava is enrolled in the Clinical Psychology Doctoral Program at the University of Southern Mississippi and was unable to attend the ceremony this morning. However, please join me in congratulating her as the winner of the John D. Minton Award. The Ogden Foundation Scholar Award is presented each spring to one graduating senior who has demonstrated exceptional academic achievement in addition to outstanding university and civic engagement. Named for Ogden College, one of the institutions from which Western Kentucky University evolved, The Spring 2020 Ogden Foundation Scholar Award goes to Dallas McKinney. Dallas, I invite you to join me at the podium at this time. You just stand there while I say good things about you. An honors college graduate, Dallas earned Bachelor of Science degrees in meteorology and geographic information science, along with a certificate in geographic information systems. During Dallas's time as an undergraduate student, he excelled in his academic studies. His internships included climate research with NASA's Student Airborne Research Program in Southern California and studying lake effect snow with the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Cleveland, Ohio. In addition to the Ogden Scholar Award, Dallas was also the recipient of the Outstanding Senior in Geographic Information Systems Award and receiving WKU's Lifetime Experience Grant. On campus, Dallas served as a tutor in WKU's TRIO program, a weather blogger, and a representative on the Student Government Association. Please join me in congratulating Dallas as the Spring 2020 Ogden Foundation Scholar Award winner. WK awards 3 honors designations to students receiving baccalaureate degrees, cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude, and 2 recognitions for students receiving associate degrees with distinction and with high distinction. All of these outstanding graduates have earned a grade point average of 3.4 or above, with the appropriate number of credit hours earned at WKU. And today, they proudly wear red and white honor cords as a symbol of their academic achievement. Will all honor graduates please stand to be recognized and congratulated? Thank you. You may be seated. The Scholar of the College goes to the baccalaureate degree students from each undergraduate college with the highest cumulative overall grade point average and a minimum of 60 semester hours earned at WKU. Students in each college have been presented with a medallion. Outstanding graduate students were selected by graduate faculty in each college. Would all students with the Scholar of the College designation and all outstanding graduate students stand to be recognized and congratulated? Congratulations to all of our honor graduates and their families.
Thank you, Provost Stevens, and congratulations to these outstanding award winners and to all honor graduates. The authority to confer degrees rests with the WKU Board of Regents. At this time, Dean Snyder, Dean Murphy, Dean Arbuckle, Dean Shook, and Dean Basta will present their degree candidates by college. Graduates, please rise as your college is recognized. From the Potter College of Arts and Letters, please welcome Dean Larry Snyder. Earning degrees in areas such as anthropology, communication, and criminology, these students have been involved in numerous hands-on experiences in their studies. And they go on to become FBI agents, politicians, lawyers, published authors, journalists, artists, musicians, and much more. Dean Snyder.
Potter College trains students not only to seek out and achieve highest level of academic potential, but to also be creative, intelligent, and critical thinkers who embrace the beauty and passion of the arts, humanities, and social sciences in the modern world. Would all graduates from the Potter College of the Arts and Letters please rise? President Caboni, and for the last time, on behalf of the faculty of the Potter College of Arts and Letters of Western Kentucky University, I present to you the students upon whom degrees were conferred on May 15th, 2020.
Thank you, Dean Snyder, and congratulations to our Potter College graduates. You may be seated. And now, from the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences, please welcome Dean Corinne Murphy. The College of Education and Behavioral Sciences graduates a diverse group of community change agents earning degrees in teacher certification, educational administration, counseling, psychology, military sciences, interdisciplinary studies, and much more. Dean Murphy.
The College of Education and Behavioral Sciences represents the foundation of WKU, dating back to the Western Kentucky State Normal School in 1906. Graduates go on to become teachers and school administrators, psychologists, university presidents, military officers, organizational leaders, and much more. Would all graduates from the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences please rise? President Caboni, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences of Western Kentucky University, I present to you the students upon whom degrees were conferred on May 15, 2020.
Thank you, Dean Murphy, and congratulations to our Education and Behavioral Science graduates. You may be seated. Now, from the Ogden College of Science and Engineering, please welcome Dean Greg Arbuckle. In Ogden College, our Hilltoppers go deep into math, science, and engineering, preparing to be doctors, engineers, meteorologists, and much, much more. Dean Arbuckle.
The Ogden College of Science and Engineering offers one of the most fundamental applied science experiences on campus in its Center for Energy Systems. This center has become a focus for technical and engineering workforce development for the region, state, and the nation, where students are engaged in providing practical and meaningful solutions. Would all graduates from the Ogden College of Science and Engineering please rise? President Caboni, on behalf of the faculty of Ogden College of Science and Engineering of Western Kentucky University, I present to you the students upon whom the degree were conferred on May 15, 2020.
Thank you, Dean Arbuckle, and congratulations to our science and engineering graduates. You may be seated. Now, from the Gordon Ford College of Business, please welcome Dean Christopher Shook. Earning degrees in accounting, economics, finance, information systems, management, and marketing, graduates often go directly into lucrative businesses or data analytic positions. Others start their own business or go on to graduate programs. Dean Shook.
The Gordon Ford College of Business is internationally recognized for excellence in business and accounting programs that prepare students for long-term career success. Would all graduates from the Gordon Ford College of Business please rise? President Caboni, on behalf of the faculty of the Gordon Ford College of Business of Western Kentucky University, I present to you the students upon whom degrees were conferred on May 15th, 2020.
Thank you, Dean Shook, and congratulations to our College of Business graduates. You may be seated. Now, from the College of Health and Human Services, please welcome Dean Tanya Basta. Earning degrees such as nursing, physical therapy, social work, healthcare administration, dental hygiene, and speech-language pathology, these students go on to become our healthcare providers, medical facility administrators, managers of hotels, restaurant, recreation, and sports facilities, and much more. Dean Basta.
In the College of Health and Human Services, students learn how to best evaluate and treat patients, manage and administer health and community-based facilities and programs, design functional and aesthetically pleasing interior spaces, support child and family well-being, and much more. Would all graduates from the College of Health and Human Services please rise? President Caboni, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Health and Human Services of Western Kentucky University, I present to you the students upon whom degrees were conferred on May 15th, 2020.
Thank you, Dean Basta, and congratulations to our Health and Human Services graduates. At this time, will all graduates, faculty, and the platform party please stand? I now invite the chair of the WKU Board of Regents, Mr. Frederick A. Higdon, to come forward.
Good morning, class of 2020. The responsibility of conferring degrees is the highest honor and privilege for the Board of Regents of Western Kentucky University. Graduates, it is my privilege to confer upon each of you the appropriate degree by video on May 15, 2020. And it is now especially gratifying to be with you in person to celebrate your accomplishments. On behalf of the Western Kentucky University Board of Regents, congratulations.
Thank you, and please be seated. I'd like to introduce to you Alumni Association President Joe Morrell.
Good morning, and congratulations, grads. My name is Joe Morrell, and I am president of the WKU Alumni Association National Board of Directors, and I'm proud to be a Hilltopper. I want to provide you all a piece of knowledge that I heard Chef David Chang say to a group similar to this, an idea we should all remind ourselves of times like this. It's not about you. You're going to be your happiest, in my opinion, when you try to be selfless. Congratulations to you all for your accomplishments while on the Hill. I hope you're proud of your achievements, and decades from now, you can take a look around and say to yourself, I left things better than I found it. Graduates, please rise. Take a look around. In addition to your family and friends, you are also surrounded by your alumni family. You are forever a Hilltopper, and your Alumni Association is here to help you maintain that connection. Since you didn't have this special moment last year, to signify your accomplishment and your change of status from student to alumnus, at this time, please move your tassel from the right side of your mortarboard to the left, placing it over your heart. Congratulations. May your reflections and the memories of your years here in this specific moment keep you climbing with WKU. I would like to officially welcome you to the WKU alumni family.
Thank you, Joe. And Hilltoppers, now it's time for one final red towel class photo. So you know what to do. Grab your towels, stand, wave toward the video board, and don't forget to smile. This is your WKU Class of 2020 photo. We continue celebrating your achievements today by individually recognizing every graduate. So when you hear your name called, stand and wave your red towel as you're recognized, and then proceed to the stage area to receive your diploma cover and pause for a quick photo, then return to your seats. We do ask that you wear your mask as you make your way to the front since physical distancing may not be maintained. Feel free to remove it for your walk in front of the stage and photo op, but we do ask you maintain distance from those around you. You may be seated. Now, we know this field is pretty big, and we're grateful for the opportunity just to be able to gather safely outside. If you're not comfortable walking, feel free, remain seated. Diploma covers will be available at the field gate and stage following today's ceremony. Now, before we begin individual recognition, if you did not previously submit your information, photos, and videos via text, email, or the website, and if you didn't turn in a reader card or a topper walk, if you still wish to be recognized, you have one more chance. Make your way to the field gate where you enter the stadium so we may gather your information. All right, let's get started.
Potter College of Arts and Letters. Alexandra Baumgarten, magna cum laude. Chris Nolano DeMeo, summa cum laude. Claire Duckworth, summa cum laude. Sam Flick, cum laude. Tyler Shaw. Sarah Starkey, cum laude. Ashley Terry, cum laude. Haley Tucker. Morgan Wysong. Anthony Arcane. Jennifer Roberts, cum laude. Ian Cassidy. Olivia Bowers, summa cum laude. Emily Felica. Haven Butler. Lakira DeBerry. Jeffrey Gibson. Rena Johnson-Smith. Taylor Manning. Mitchell Manuel. John Robert D. Reynolds. Junie Riddle. Connor Sturgill, magna cum laude. Brent Thompson. Savannah Schenk. Mark Webster. Ishak Falada. Rebecca Green, summa cum laude. Ren Pierce. Julie Sisler, cum laude. Natalie Ellis, summa cum laude. Mallory Jenkins, summa cum laude. Laura King, summa cum laude. Michaela Kennard. Kimber Morris, summa cum laude. Kayla Robinson, summa cum laude. Rachel Tidwell, summa cum laude. Caroline Wood. Dylan Bailey. Jalen Baker. Cynthia Cheney. Alyssa Coomer. Aaron Eckelson. Blake Harris. Kathleen Hayes. Avery Hazard. Sarah Jones. Olivia Maddox. Anna McElvoy. Hannah Nosko. Lakin Simones. Kennedy Morgan Parks. Carla Villa Alonzo. Summa cum laude. Clyde Williams. Lee Wright, summa cum laude. Ryan Carmichael, cum laude. DJ Cox. Heather Easley. Jason Key. Jackie Killian. Chandler Moore. Sarah Olive, summa cum laude. Claire Sheehan, cum laude. Heather Easley. Claire Kalin, magna cum laude. Dylan Edelman, magna cum laude. Danielle Hart. Jonathan Howell, summa cum laude. Joshua Cowan. John Lawler. Tamara Lott. Hunter Stewart. Caitlin Bison, summa cum laude. Maverick Clemmer. Claire Kalin, magna cum laude. Michael King, cum laude. Caitlin Latour Duval, magna cum laude. Mackenzie Montrose, cum laude. Haley Robb, summa cum laude. Matt Stahl. Stephanie Barrett, cum laude. Annie Sarah Chapman, summa cum laude. Desiree Deloge. Cynthia Fernandez. Abby Preston, summa cum laude. Josie Schultz, summa cum laude. Leanna Delbridge, magna cum laude. Jared Thurman, magna cum laude. Zach Todd, cum laude. Samuel Toggle, summa cum laude. Melanie Valone, magna cum laude. Tyler White, magna cum laude. John Chandler Clark, cum laude. Tina Logsden. Kaylin McDonald. Mary Madison Lyons. Emily Ann Pride. Brittany Stevens. Ariel Conrad. Sabas Del Toro. Holly Calista Graves. Kevin Hendren, cum laude. Camera Lane, cum laude. Rayleigh Skipworth. Ann Holden, magna cum laude. Madiah Abri. Haley Watson, magna cum laude. Mary Adams, summa cum laude. Sarah Alexi, cum laude. Rachel Buchanan, summa cum laude. Hannah DePoy, summa cum laude. Morgan Hershey, magna cum laude. Connor Hounshell, summa cum laude. Catherine Jones, cum laude. Nathaniel Krantz. Antonio McManus. Rowan Michael, magna cum laude. Keenan Mujkanovich. Alyssa Perry. Paige Richard. Lene Washington. Rob Knight. Libby Griggs. Emily Jones, cum laude. Remy Mays. Jacqueline Hodges. Austin Bradley. David Brondanich. Samantha Howard. Emma Frank. Aliyah Harden. Molly Latham, cum laude. Kevin London, summa cum laude. Antonio Clements, summa cum laude. Jacob Newton, magna cum laude. Kaylee Payne, magna cum laude. Catherine Schaff, summa cum laude. Cody Starnes, cum laude. Deidre Alexander, magna cum laude. Jacob Chamberlain. Jarrett Jarvis, cum laude. Corey Keslick. Melanie Oglesby, magna cum laude. Nathaniel Roark. Nathaniel Brohl. Allison Denny. Reagan Fisher, summa cum laude. Lily Neltner. Preston Perkins. Allison Denny. Sarah Jones. Alexandra Smiley. Gordon Ford College of Business. Carson Evans. Callie Newman, magna cum laude. Sydney Schad, summa cum laude. Allison Taylor, summa cum laude. Robert Avery Vincent, cum laude. Nicholas Wims. James DeCesare. Kay Faisal. Ian Hamilton. Mary Joyner. Haley Lord. Joanna Patton. Madeline Payne. Sanita Husick. Brandon Smith. Daisy Ramirez de la Paz. Elijah Butler, magna cum laude. Joseph Fragnoli, summa cum laude. Shane Poe, cum laude. Margaret Chaplin, magna cum laude. Samuel Higginbotham, magna cum laude. Jordan Poteet. Mallory Brooks. Caroline Cavan, summa cum laude. Aiden Randleman. Roland Amort. Landon Arnett, magna cum laude. Renata Escobar. Kenneth Fanchier. Tyler Hickman, summa cum laude. Joshua Hurt, cum laude. Connor Roberts. Idle Sevilla. Anna McElvoy, magna cum laude. Unib Nixon. Zaw U. Griffin Beckner. Claire Blackman. Xavier Corsino. Charles C. Dyer. Ryan Gann, cum laude. Stephen Humphreys, summa cum laude. Taryn Mitchell. Blake Moss, cum laude. Desi New. Elizabeth Reinhardt. Davis Taylor, cum laude. Grace Cowgill. Simon Gill. Matthew Hinton. Riley Jones, summa cum laude. Madeline Orr, summa cum laude. Chase Rampal. Alana Slagle. Lynn Dawson Steenbergen, magna cum laude. Lauren Welburn, magna cum laude. Kate Wheeler, cum laude. Caitlin Gatewood, summa cum laude. College of Education and Behavioral Sciences. Dr. Joseph Case. Darian Evans. Sarah Lusich. Morgan Moore. Mary Cullen Servadidio. Dr. Tyler Clark. Dr. Michelle Elkins. Dr. Anthony Paganelli. Dr. Irina Rader. Dr. Troy Robertson. Amber Brashear. Katie Burden, magna cum laude. Jacqueline Coombs, summa cum laude. Catherine Ellis, summa cum laude. Rebecca Felty, magna cum laude. Kara Holloway. Caitlin Jagger, summa cum laude. Lauren Johnson. Jamesia Lebo, cum laude. Kimberly Ellis, magna cum laude. Octavia Patterson. Kaylee Pinniger, cum laude. Karen Russell, cum laude. Isabella Singer. Casey Stewart. Alexis Sturgill, cum laude. Tessa Thompson, magna cum laude. Barry Douglas. Andrea Hemming. Miranda Bonifay. Katie Bray. Cheyenne Cumberland, summa cum laude. Mayana Lackey, magna cum laude. Heather Rossi. Allison Key. Madison Adler. Ahmad Al-Mustafa. Khalil Al-Nakli. Bree Antilla. Zayad Atia. Sue Ong. Dustin Brondike. Naomi Brooks. Eli Brown. Autumn Coyle, magna cum laude. Tabitha Deering. Olivia Gaddis. Bridget Wilson Garrison. DeVivian Gauze. Christina Green. Hannah Griefak. Sasha Griffin. Jennifer Hanna. Sydney Harris. Amanda Howard. Joy Giles. LaMichael Johnson. Almudena Karabegovic. Marma Mahmood. Diana Mansfield, cum laude. Jonathan Mansfield. Michaela McKnight. Jamie Munford. Drew Murray. Hunter Russin. Jordan Saunders. Patience Scruggs. Samantha Sears. Demetria Tucker. Sarah Wright. Austin Tarter. Emily Brown. Erica Brown. Taylor Browning. James Fox. Mary Galloway. Bhavik Goel. Marima Gravis. J.C. Graves. James William Hudson. Samantha Knight, summa cum laude. Elijah Meyer. Keith Nall. Washan Nance. Kelly Smith. Mallory Stroop. James Tynan. Emily West. Zoe Alsop, summa cum laude. Daisha Chase. Antonio Clement, summa cum laude. Gavin Driver. Glory Duff, summa cum laude. Shelby Hingle. Hunter Knapp. Evelyn Sands. Kristen Starr, magna cum laude. Casey Thomas, summa cum laude. Brooke Zarotny, summa cum laude. Latoya Marks. Laura Crabtree. Trent Hadley. Misty Hare Wilson. Caitlin Brock. Rachel Cheney, summa cum laude. Taylor Creek Curtis, summa cum laude. Kayla Schultz. Madeline Sullivan. Marley Freund Wetton. Mariah Emanuelson. Stuart Sullivan. Jeremy Walther. College of Health and Human Services. Jacqueline Duval. Dana Pointer. Hannah Davis, summa cum laude. Megan DeVore, summa cum laude. Lauren Dean Hammer, summa cum laude. Josie Hoyer, summa cum laude. Carolyn Jones, summa cum laude. Lauren McCurry, summa cum laude. Jana Mullen, summa cum laude. Emily Phillips, summa cum laude. Megan Rice, summa cum laude. Claire Van Auker, magna cum laude. Diana Ayala, magna cum laude. Bailey Carroll, summa cum laude. Holly Catron. Judith Mota Hernandez, cum laude. Catherine Seiler, magna cum laude. Sydney Willingham. Ann Holden, magna cum laude. Morgan Miller, summa cum laude. Naharika Rambatala. Paula Ashley, cum laude. Will Bybee, magna cum laude. Alexandra Hockersmith. Caitlin Jones. Jackson Lashley, summa cum laude. Rebecca Mall, summa cum laude. Devontae Payne. Azir Sabanovich. Catherine Schaff, summa cum laude. Corbin Surratt, cum laude. Madison Turner. Haley Alvey. Erica Burden, cum laude. Shanti Jesse. Naya Solt, summa cum laude. Jamie Stevens. Julia Wallace. Bethany Waddles. Ahmad Amustafa, cum laude. Niall Brooks. Marcy Dant. Latvia Fezel. Taylor Insko, magna cum laude. Madeline Jansen. Cassidy Key, summa cum laude. Elizma Lee. Marwa Mahmud. Philip Matherly. Abigail Milliken, summa cum laude. Kayla Nichols. Haley Tybalt. Emily Turner, magna cum laude. Whitney Vaughn. Oceana Witt. Joshua Booker. Taylor Corey. Anna Cunningham. Maggie Eby, cum laude. Brittany Estes, cum laude. Cassidy Ferguson, cum laude. Rachel Hines, cum laude. Kenyatta Madsen. Tabitha Aline. Anna Grace Roberts. Megan Shercliffe, magna cum laude. Macy Skipworth. Brendan Ward. Matthew Aud. Kaylin Cotton. Emily Gilbert, summa cum laude. Jolene Guyan, magna cum laude. Kate Morris, magna cum laude. Megan Showalter, magna cum laude. Jade Byer. Caitlin Carroll, summa cum laude. Sophia Sereno, summa cum laude. Eldar Gorak. Emery Lewis. Nicole Miller, cum laude. Shannon Myers, summa cum laude. Andrea Ruzick, cum laude. Madison Wells, cum laude. Samantha Henry. Sep Rassi. Jennifer Aliff. Madeline Baker. Mackenzie Beals. Faith Berry. Molly Butcher. Alexis Burnett. Chandra Kluel. Rachel Klein. Anastasia Faith Damesworth. Sarah Faith. Lauren Federer, cum laude. Taylor Fields. Skylar Hustis, cum laude. Lauren Johnson, cum laude. Casey Jones. Morgan Lemaster. Shannon Leach, summa cum laude. Stephanie Martin. Kristen Morgan. Jamie Owens. Sarah Preston. Kimberly Proctor. Lennon Reed. Brian White. Ashlyn Rice, summa cum laude. Kristen Sandlin. Taylor Shanks. Keely Sims, magna cum laude. Lindsay Stuber, cum laude. Tabitha Tabor. Kelsey Thompson, cum laude. Marianne Trevelyan. Savannah Tucker. Darnica Washington. Monet Webb. Anya Yusutenko. Dr. Aaron Pasista. Dr. Brandy Blue. Dr. Jennifer Hill. Dr. Tracy Jenkins. Dr. Nikisha Perkins. Dr. Melissa Simpson. Dr. Caitlin Wells. Anthony Husky. Dr. William Folks. Dr. Jackie Plunkett. Dr. Chelsea Riley. Dr. Sarah Sadler. Dr. Jamal Whitmer. Khalil Alkanali. Alexis Bigham. Jenna Hopkins. Angel Parker. Jalen Sutherling. Tara Walls, cum laude. Jessica Walters. Debbie Clements. Mila Consley, summa cum laude. Granville Sean Jones. Stella Blue Roth. Katie Lesnar Sargent, summa cum laude. Katrina Stark, magna cum laude. Michael Bowdy. William Collins. Amanda Flagg. Angelica Groves. Nicholas McDonald. Mackenzie Page. Nathan Siebert. Sandra Skinner. Jayla Stewart. Victoria Ballou, magna cum laude. Lauren Brown, cum laude. Lauren Burnett, cum laude. Shaylee Carter Watson. Cameron Cater, cum laude. Kimberly Davidson, magna cum laude. Gramikia Demumbrum. Tammy Floyd. Jessica Francis. Christina Garofola. Alan Hester. Shelby Hingle. Christy Hinton, cum laude. James Jeremy Hubbard, summa cum laude. Kelsey Iannatello, cum laude. Kelsey Jenkins. DeQuasia Moore, magna cum laude. Emily Neely, cum laude. Kimanasha Ferris. Christy Schindler. Jamie Schultz, cum laude. Carolyn Shelton, summa cum laude. Kayla Shepperson. Emma Stutz. Nicole Taylor. Kyra Tooley. James Turner, summa cum laude. Taylor Turner. Takiria Watson. Austin Weiler, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Apelt. Mallory Barnes. Brittany Green. Betsy Quilling. Jamie Smith. Clay Boble. Keish Brewer Jr. Dana Brown, summa cum laude. Dylan Duckworth. Juwan Jones, magna cum laude. Jacob Karaglanis. Kevin Lambert. Taylor Lewis. Caden McCormick, magna cum laude. Duncan Murphy, cum laude. Patrick O. Murphy. Joseph Picororo. Paige Perkins. Hannah Potter. Alex Shirley. Logan Trimmer, magna cum laude. Ogden College of Science and Engineering. Audrey Leanne Bennett. Shelby Adams. Casey Berta. Alexandria Frechette, cum laude. Taylor Garrett. Beverly Gartland. Wyatt Lucas. Courtney Payne. Hillary Alyssa Pope. Zane Pretty. Catherine Rector. Adam Sanderson, summa cum laude. Christine Shive, cum laude. Hillary Vaughn, cum laude. Brianne Williams. Catherine Wilson, cum laude. Josie Wiseman. Lisa Freese, cum laude. Jeremy Latham, summa cum laude. Kate Ashley, cum laude. Will Boss. Lamontes Brown. Jacob Carroll. Angeline Dames, magna cum laude. Keegan Gray. Brandon Hodge. Sean Holcomb. Connor Honchell, summa cum laude. Kara Knotts, magna cum laude. Derek Lawrence. Whitney Martins. Emma Mitchell, summa cum laude. Jacob Newton, magna cum laude. Ben Penniger. Diamond Shelton, summa cum laude. Keely Stalkup, summa cum laude. Emily Wallace, cum laude. Audrey Wells, cum laude. Amanda Houchins. Isaac Howard, cum laude. Ryan Lamb, summa cum laude. Alyssa Weston, magna cum laude. Catherine Caldwell, magna cum laude. Cameron Conrad, cum laude. Bo Cooper. Logan Fuqua. Lauren Wright, summa cum laude. Daniel Gosser. Justin Hargett. Lauren Knott. Jared Wilson. John Clark, cum laude. Dimple Jaiswal. Dylan McQuarrie. Caleb Dillingham, magna cum laude. Logan Getz. Dylan Skaggs, cum laude. Eric Howard. Jonathan Haley. Dallas McKinney, summa cum laude, Ogden Foundation Scholar Award. Haley Baird, summa cum laude. Jason Carter. Darren Woodley. Abdullah Mohammed Ahmed. Amanda Glazer. William Howard. Zachary Oak, magna cum laude. Sarah McDaniel, summa cum laude. Abdullah Al-Jaradi. Hassan Al-Mohammadi. Era Calvin. Anna Renault, cum laude. Kyle Sprague, cum laude. Michaela Hope Redding. Brooke Walden. Olivia Cahill, magna cum laude. Dallas McKinney, summa cum laude. Christopher Paget. Shakira Stackhouse, cum laude. Daniel Whitesell, cum laude. Kayla Ditto, magna cum laude. Andrea Anderson, summa cum laude. Sarah Campbell, magna cum laude. Drew Collins. Jason Cummings, magna cum laude. Bailey Davis, summa cum laude. Jamie Coho Goings. Ariel Gonzalez. Emma Hagan. Hannah Heisler, magna cum laude. Margaret Cassell, summa cum laude. Jessica Cowan. Mackenzie Krustufek. Eliza Lavis, summa cum laude. Melissa Manatry, magna cum laude. Mallory Skaggs. Emily Weston. Meredith Whitfield, summa cum laude. Alexis Wilson, cum laude. Jason Spalding. Jenny Begley. Lauren Biggs. Brooklyn Bischoff. Natalie Bodenbender. Stephen Daniel Brewer. Catherine Caldwell. Nicole Carr. Erica Clark. Eder Conejo. Brianna Douglas. Mary Ellen Foley. Lisa Fries. Viviana Diaz Ferreira. Jim Driver. Jonah Alexander Frank. Jenna Galbraith. Bridget Wilson Garrison. Lorena Renee Henderson. Ryan Henning. Jacqueline Hodges. William Howard. Sanita Husick. Megan Johnson. Sierra Keene. Anzie Krizgoff. Daniel Lazar. Alicia McGill. Sarah McDaniel. Brandon McEwen. E. May. Julie Miracle. Olivia Moore. Brianna Newton. Mark O'Brien. Ife Owalumadu. Jaquan Owens. Joselie Pacadiz. Rashana Perek. Ariana Pettigo. Hannah Potter. Valerie Roberts. Megan Shercliffe. Isabella Tawasha. Trevor Vance. Chandra Vanna. Nicholas Tyler Vaughn. Cassie Vowles. Julia Wallace. Brian Wick. Joe Zwa. And Lauren Biggs. Thank you.
right. Well done, graduates. Let's give a special thanks to all the staff and volunteers who planned, produced today's commencement ceremony. It's also a shout out to our soloist, Sarah Chapman. Families, friends, graduates, thank you for being here today. This concludes our ceremony, so please stand and join me in singing the fight song at this time. One last time, first time as alumni here. Congratulations, graduates, and go Tops!